What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're back with our first entry into our testing rounds videos for Guardians Rising. So if you guys are unfamiliar with these testing rounds videos, typically before a new set comes out, we like to test out a couple of new deck ideas that a new set gives us. We throw together some rough ideas of what we want to try out, and we battle each other with them. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be playing Tapu Koko GX on the left, and Marcus is going to be playing the new Lycanroc GX on the right. So the Lycanroc from Guardians Rising, not the promo one that recently came out as a promo. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit interesting. Both these I think are going to be hyped, playable cards from Guardians Rising, so it's definitely exciting to be able to start trying out some ideas with them. Typically I would say Lycanroc has the advantage here, but luckily Tapu Koko doesn't have weakness, so even though Lycanroc is fighting it, it won't actually be that terrible of a matchup. Let's see, it looks like I start with a Tapu Koko GX. And Marcus has an Eevee and is going to go first. So Marcus is playing like a Lycanroc Eeveelutions deck just to hit for weakness on various different decks that are in the metagame currently. He's playing a Trainer's Mail. He's going to grab himself a Floatstone, probably to throw on that Eevee. And I saw he has a Lycanroc in hand. Does he have a way to get a Rockruff? That would be good. So he has an Ultra Ball. That seems good. We'll probably see a Rockruff or maybe a Shaman, potentially. Just going to get rid of a Fighting Energy. And that Floatstone looks like. Okay, so let's see what he opts to grab here. And okay, looks like he's just debating. He does play a Tapu Lele GX in this list as well, so that's also a potential option. I'm not sure what his hand is looking like. Okay, and so yeah, he is going to grab himself a Tapu Lele GX. That's one of the new, probably most hyped GXs. Whenever you bench it from your hand, it lets you grab a supporter card out of your deck, kind of like the old Jirachi EX from Plasma Blast. And also, typically, normally Marcus would help commentate these testing rounds videos, but he was actually sick at the time of filming, and when we were playing this game, he was still under the weather, but we still wanted to get these games recorded and get a video up for you guys pretty quickly, so he suffered through it to make this video for you guys. Okay, so he does have a Strong Energy and a Choice Band, which is a new tool card. The Pokemon it's attached to does 30 more damage to Pokemon EX and GX. Okay, so he's going to grab another Rockruff there. And it looks like just a pass. So not a bad turn. He's got a couple Rockruffs down, Eevee, energy attachment. So he's doing okay right now, I think. And so Ultra Ball, I'm going to get rid of a Versus Seeker, which is never good. And looks like I'm very conflicted here, but I'm going to get rid of a Lightning Energy. Let's see what I opt to grab here. Okay, looks like I'm eyeing down a Shaman. And it is worth noting too that a lot of times when we record these testing rounds videos, it's our first or second times like ever playing the decks. So expect us to make some misplays at some point during these games. Like I said, the decks are just kind of like rough ideas just to start testing with. But here I'm going to grab a Shaman EX. So a Trainer's Mail. And honestly, I think I probably should have Trainer's Mailed before grabbing the Shaman. Because if I had a supporter off the Trainer's Mail, I could have potentially grabbed a different Pokemon instead of Shaman. But luckily it worked out okay. Looks like I have a Tapu Koko on the bench going to Max Elixir. So you guys should be familiar with that one. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. You find a basic energy that's there and attach it to one of your bench basic Pokemon. So we're going to start powering up a Tapu Koko. Yeah, I see I have an Ultra Ball in hand. I see I have a Sycamore. I'm not sure really what to do here. Like, I don't want to discard the Sycamore, but here looks like I'm going to Ultra Ball. And I'm not sure really what to grab here. It looks like I'm eyeing down a Raikou, just to potentially force a 7 prize game at some point here. The only thing I do need to be careful about is benching too many Pokemon, because Lycanroc GX's GX move does 50 times the number of bench Pokemon your opponent has in play. So I really do need to be careful of that. Okay, I'm going to attach a Lightning Energy to the benched Rockruff. And it looks like I'm debating what to do here. Looks like I'm thinking about playing Trainer's Nail, but I don't know really what I could get at this point. Fighting Fury Belt, that's actually a good card to get, so let's go ahead and grab that guy. And so there's a couple targets to put that on. So it looks like I'm actually eyeing down the Shaman just because Lycanroc GX can knock it out in one hit, and it has a built-in Lysander ability, so easy Shaman prizes are not something I want to give up in this matchup. So I'm just doing that just to kind of take that play away from Marcus here. So he's going to Sycamore, attach a DC, discarding a Strong Energy. So I'm guessing we'll probably see a Lycanroc GX this turn. So this is actually good. He gets Jolteon, which will give him free retreat. He's going to get the Float Stone down on Tapu Koko GX, just to give it free retreat. And I'd imagine we're going to see a Lycanroc at some point. Okay, so Marcus is going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Trainer's Mail and Lysander. Oh, actually going for Shaman, so that must tell me he did not have a supporter for next turn. So, yeah, so he doesn't want to grab just a Lycanroc GX and have nothing to work with on the next turn. The only situation where he might want to do that is if he would bring up the Shaman to knock it out with Jolteon. Since Jolteon will make all of Marcus's stage 1s a lightning type. But here he ended up getting a Lycanroc off of the Shaman, so he's going to use Lycanroc's ability, Bloodthirsty Eyes. Whenever you evolve into Lycanroc, you get to basically just Lysander. You get a free Lysander, pick one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to make active. So this is really, really good. So he's going to bring up that Tapu Koko I've been powering up. And here, we actually make a little bit of a misplay here, because Lycanroc will have done enough to knock it out, but I had the conservation area in play, I think it was. Yeah, so normally Marcus would have done 170 because of 3 bench Pokemon and the Strong Energy, but the conservation area I have in play reduces damage to basic Lightning and Grass Pokemon by 30. So that's actually going to save this Tapu Koko. So Marcus, instead of doing the GX move, he's just going to take that back and do the standard move for 110, but it will get bumped up to 130 thanks to Strong Energy, and then reduced down to 100 thanks to the Stadium. So yeah, like I said, first time playing this deck, so we both kind of forgot about that. Okay, so here I'm going to use Tapu Koko. Its ability lets you suck all of the other energy that you have in play, or as much as you want, from your other Pokemon to it, and then make it your active, so you can kind of come out of nowhere and power up a new Pokemon like I just did. And then I max potion off the damaged Tapu Koko. The only downside to this now is that I have 4 bench Pokemon, which means that Lycanroc GX is going to be able to take a knockout with its GX move on Marcus's next turn. So I'm really not happy about that. If I could get a Fighting Fury Belt down, that would save me, but I don't believe I have one. So I'm probably just going to have to do 130. That's Tapu Koko's main attack, just 2 lightning and then Colress to do 130. And then it also does have a GX move. It does 50 times the number of energy on your opponent's field. So I would have just done 150 had I attacked with that. So I want to save that to potentially get a big one-hit knockout at some point. So Marcus, I think, is actually in a pretty good spot at this point right now. So he's going to attach a Strong Energy to his his Rockruff on the bench. Here, I'm not sure what he has in his hand, but like I said, even if even though this Lycanroc is super damaged, I think he's fine because I don't really have a way to respond on the next turn. Not currently, at least. It would take a good bit. So we're going to promote Raikou, but the only downside about this is that it's really hard to force a 7 prize game here because of Lycanroc GX's ability. But here I'm going to end Marcus down to 4 cards. So I'm gonna need a lot to make something happen. I'm gonna need a Lightning Energy, and then 2 Max Elixirs and a Tapu Koko to take a knockout here. It's a lot to ask for off of 6 cards, but it is possible. So I'll just have to see what I get here. Ton of energy, but just not no Max Elixirs though. And I imagine I'm just going to pass, and we'll see what Marcus decides to do here. I see he does have an escape rope in hand, potentially. He could play. But he's going to Ultra Ball, so he's going to discard Escape Rope and Super Rod. Probably just grab another Lycanroc. That way he can still get the kind of Escape Rope effect, and also evolve into his other Lycanroc. So he's going to bring up this damaged Tapu Koko. Or this fresh Tapu Koko, I should say, to damage it. So let's see what else Marcus might have. He's got Trainer's Mail. Only thing I don't like about this for Marcus is, I shouldn't say yet. I definitely think he should retreat first. I do want to see him retreat here to prevent this Lycanroc from getting knocked out. That would definitely be big. Because it won't take too much to make a knockout happen. Okay, so here he is going to do 130, since he did bump my stadium with a Silent Lab, which is definitely annoying. So here, I'm probably going to attach a Lightning Energy in N. I think that's probably the best play. Just because it doesn't really matter where you attach energy in this deck, which is really cool, because if I get a Tapu Koko, it'll be okay. Oh wait, I realized there's Silent Lab out, so Marcus just let me take that back. So here I'm just going to attach to the bench Tapu Koko. And it's slightly annoying because now I have to hit Tapu Koko again off this end, along with the Stadium and Max Elixir. So the only good side, or upside to this, is that I do still have 6 prizes. So it's possible. Do we hit Max Elixir off of this Trainer's Mail? And no, we do not. So I'm probably not going to be able to get a fresh Tapu Koko in play if I had to guess. Here I'm just going to grab Lysander off that Trainer's Mail. And I have to say, I think that's a really big whiff, because I don't believe I did have Max Elixir in hand. I do have the Conservation Area, but I really don't want to play that until I want to use Tapu Koko's ability, so I think I'm just a little... I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to bump the stadium and put down this fresh Tapu Koko? But here I'm just going to pass, and I think that's fine. Here Mark's just going to take a knockout, but again, I really think he should retreat. Oh, he should have retreated the Lycanroc. Okay, so I'm going to Max Elixir. Then I do have energy in hand and the fresh Tapu Koko to actually take a knockout here. But actually what I might do, I think the better play, so attach return, bench the fresh Tapu Koko. Okay, well, first we have to bump the stadium, that way we can get rid of Marcus's Silent Lab, and then actually Lysander the fresh Lycanroc GX. I think that would have been a... Yeah, see, I don't think I should have done that in hindsight. I definitely think that was a misplay, because if we would have Lysander the fresh Lycanroc, could have used Tapu Koko's GX move to take a knockout here. And here Mark's just going to use Lycanroc's ability to bring up Shaman and take a knockout. So Marcus is going to take the first game in the series, so you can definitely start to see how good, well, not just Lycanroc, but both of the abilities on these Pokemon are. You know, Tapu Koko just be able to throw one down out of nowhere and have a new attacker, and then Lycanroc to always basically have access to Lysander no matter what. It's just so good. It almost kind of reminds me of the old 2012 type of format where Pokemon Catcher wasn't a coin flip and you could Pokemon Catcher in a turn and like Sycamore and play draw supporters. So it's definitely a very, very powerful effect. So I'm not sure what what kind of I think Marcus kind of did everything he needed to do. So I think if he can just do the same thing again, he'll be in a good spot. But then on my side, I think maybe I shouldn't have benched as many Pokemon, just because Lycanroc can capitalize on that pretty easily. And so here I have a Tapu Koko and a Tapu Lele I could potentially start with. Okay, and Marcus is going to Mulligan, so I'm perfectly happy with that, especially since I'm going first. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to try to do, is to not bench as many Pokemon. Maybe just because I kind of put that Raikou down just because, I was going to Sycamore anyways. I remember I Ultra Balled for it just to get it out of the deck before I Sycamored, so I should probably just not bench other, unnecessary Pokemon if I don't have to. So Marcus does have a Rockruff to start with, it looks like. And I top deck a Fury Belt, which is good too, so I'll draw for turn. Okay, Trainer's Mail. So I might potentially, I'm not sure. I might just fail it, because there's nothing really there that that would need. So you might attach a Lightning Energy and maybe a Fury Belt. Okay, and just gonna end. I could have potentially benched the Tapu Lele and Max Elixir to it, but I was just talking about I don't want to bench unnecessary Pokemon, but maybe that still would have been decent. I'm not sure. But I am going first. I can't attack anyway, so I don't know if there's a need to be overly aggressive like that. So this is probably just fine playing the end here. Okay, see, I do have a Shaman. I could bench that, but I really don't know what else I'd want this turn. Maybe just something to Max Elixir to. That's all I can really think of. So we'll just have to see. I'm probably debating, do I want to Ultra Ball for something else and then play Shaman? But I think I just passed here, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, so I did. And Marcus is just going to end. Just refreshing both of our hands. But, I mean, Marcus, he's already doing okay. He has 2 Rockruffs, has an Eevee. All he really needs is an attachment for turn, and I think he has a decent turn going. Okay, so it looks like I have a couple cards to work with. A couple of Tapu Kokos. Unfortunately, I don't have much energy in play to really make use of them. Here, Marcus is going to grab himself another Level Ball, so further setting up his bench. Like I said, he's probably feeling pretty decent. He just needs that energy attachment. He does have Silent Lab as well. He might consider playing that, just prevent me from playing Shamans and Tapu Lele and Tapu Koko. Okay, but luckily I do have the Stadium to counter his. And looks like I'm debating playing the Tapu Koko. But here it's just such a tough spot because I want to lower my hand size, but at the same time, I don't want to just bench Tapu Kokos and not be able to use their ability. So I'm going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of, looks like a Field Blower. That's a new card from Guardians Rising. So you get to discard up to 2, I believe, Stadium and Tool cards from either side of the field. So it's nice we finally have a form of tool removal. But luckily, Marcus doesn't really have anything he doesn't really have any good tools or stadiums in play right now, so I feel like that'd be an okay card to discard here. But here I'm going to Ultra Ball and bench 1 Tapu Koko and 1 Shaman. So here, okay, I actually have a couple things. I can Max Elixir, and I whiff. That is definitely unfortunate here. So we really need 1 Max Elixir to hit this turn and an energy attachment. That would be ideal. So I do have an energy. And what do I do here? Very conflicted because, again, I could bench some Tapu Kokos, but I can't really do much with it. I could bench Tapu Lele to get a supporter, or I could Sycamore these Tapus away. It's just a really tricky situation here. So I might even consider just... Okay, so I'm going to use Tapu Lele. Grabbing an N. And playing it, I really did not want to Sycamore away that hand. The only thing that is going well for me is that Marcus did not get an energy attachment, which means he is not going to be able to attack with Lycanroc on his next turn. So even though I'm having a little bit of an awkward start, I think I'm still in an okay spot. Okay, so I do hit a couple things. Got Max Elixir, and that one does hit. And I can actually bench the Tapu Koko I have in hand to use its ability and get a knockout here. So here I'm going to do that, get all that energy from my other Pokemon attached to him. That can do 130 to knock out this Rockruff. Okay, so Marcus is going to draw for turn. He does have a double colorless energy and a strong energy. So he's going to start powering up his Rockruff down there. He does have a Lycanroc in hand, so I would imagine we're going to see that. And he's going to bring up this other Tapu Koko, and he's going to end. Okay, so I definitely need some sort of switching card or another Tapu Koko here. Let's see, I see a Raikou, Lycanroc Max Potion. Not a whole lot I can really use thus far. So I'd imagine I'm probably just going to end. I don't really want to Sycamore that hand away, so just going to end yet again. And I do play 2 Escape Rope in this Tapu Koko list, so I should have decent odds of maybe hitting one of them. I don't think we've used all of my Trainer's Mails either, so we should have a decent amount of outs to getting one. And did not hit it, unfortunately. But nevertheless, I can kind of start powering up some other Tapu Kokos just in case Marcus does knock one of them out. So he's going to grab himself an Ultra Ball here. So maybe grab a Shaman, or I'm not sure what his hand looks like, but maybe a Shaman or a Tapu Lele if he doesn't have a supporter. Or maybe even a Jolteon to give himself free retreat. So let's see what he opts to. He's going to Trainer's Mail. And okay, he is going to grab a Sycamore. But I see he does have an Ultra Ball in hand, though, so I definitely imagine we'll see that come down at some point. He's going to get rid of a Fighting Energy and an Escape Rope. So that tells me he's probably going for Jolteon if he's going to get rid of the Escape Rope. Okay, so he's going to do that. So not only will this allow him to hit Shaman for weakness, but Jolteon has free retreat as well, so definitely a decent play there. And he's going to Shaman. Getting down a double colorless, Floatstone on his Shaman, and then a Sycamore. So a decent turn from Marcus there. And he's going to retreat and probably swing on this Tapu Koko. He can knock it out because I do have 4 bench Pokemon in play. Well, actually with the... yeah, I believe that should be a knockout because that'd be 220 minus 30 for the conservation area. And so yeah, he's going to do that. Going down to 4 prizes. And here I do a Verse Seeker in hand, so I might just play that just to put Marcus at a lower hand size. Looks like I'm debating because I have Lycanroc. I could take out a Shaman. I think I'm debating here because I kind of want to take a one-hit knockout on a Lycanroc at some point with Tapu Koko's GX move. So I'm going to use Lysander because all Marcus has to do is attach 1 more energy and I'll be able to take a knockout here. Okay, so he's going to get a double colorless down on his Rockruff. He's going to Ultra Ball, so we'll probably see another Lycanroc hit the board here, getting rid of an Eevee and a Vaporeon. There seems like pretty good cards to discard. Vaporeon is definitely not useful in this matchup. So here, Marcus is going to go for a Shaman just to get an easy knockout here. Okay, and so he's going to retreat the Jolteon as expected, and like I said, probably just take a knockout here with his Lycanroc. Well, first he's going to Shaman, draw some more cards, and then then knock out the Shaman. And I'm fine with that because we have a Versus Seeker for N. So looks like I'm thinking about playing Super Odd, and I think that's okay, just to increase the odds of hitting stuff off Max Elixir. Can get Tapu Koko back as well. So no energy in the discard pile yet. So only got to get the Shaman and Tapu Koko, but here I'm going to end. So I'm going to put myself at a 3-card hand and Marcus at 2. There's not really too much I need right now. I think it's just fine just to disrupt Marcus, just to prevent him from, you know, doing as much stuff as possible. So right now Marcus is actually, he has a scary board state. His Lycanroc is hitting for 130, 160. If he can bounce my Stadium and get a strong energy, he could actually just knock me out. But here, since he did have a bunch of energy in play, I just used my GX move to knock out his Lycanroc there. So I believe Marcus had, what was it, 6 energy in play? Or, no, I think it was 5, so I was hitting for 250 because he had 2 double colorless and a strong energy on his field. So let's see what he opts to do here. So he's going to bring up his Lycanroc and just swing for 130, or I'm sorry, I think it's 100. Keep forgetting about that Stadium in play. Okay, going to escape rope here. And then just manually retreat to knock out Jolteon. And I believe that's going to be the last prize of the game. So, yeah, Tapu Koko definitely worked a little bit better than the last game here. So we'll see how this goes in the third one. I think this is actually a decently even matchup from the early looks of it. You know, Lycanroc can obviously just take cheap prizes whenever it wants to. But Tapu Koko is also a good attacker. You have max potion, stuff like that as well. So if Lycanroc isn't knocking out in one hit, you actually have a decent chance against this deck, I think. So, I mean, a couple things went bad for Marcus that game. You know, whiffing energy on the first turn, I think, was a kind of a big deal because that did set him back a turn as far as attacking. So even something as simple as like that can come back to bite him, but nevertheless, it looked like he was playing pretty decently. I didn't really see a lot that was like, hey, you shouldn't do that or anything like that. So that's just how it comes out sometimes. But here, since Marcus lost the last one, he is going to choose to go first, I would expect. And here, I'm just going to start with a Raikou, which is actually a decent attacker, or Pokemon to start with, just because it only gives it 1 prize. Here I have a Tapu Koko as well. I'm going to choose to keep on the bench. I'm going to end here. Or I'm sorry, Marcus is going to end. So we're both going to get a fresh hand of 6 cards. I'm sure Marcus is not happy about starting with that Tapu Lele, but unlike the old Jirachi EX, Tapu Lele is actually a decent attacker as well if need be. It has a move just like Lugia EX's Aero Ball, does 20 times the number of energy on both active Pokemon just for a DCE. So even though he does have to start with it, it's not the end of the world. So he's going to give himself a Rockruff down. He has a strong energy, so I'm sure he's happy about that. Okay, let's see, I have a Max Elixir. And I do whiff it, which is unfortunate. And it is actually possible to attack with Tapu Koko on the first turn if we get a crazy enough start. So let's see if we can actually make that happen here. I'm going to see an attachment for turn, it looks like. Going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of Sycamore and an N. So what to get here? If I'm going to Sycamore, I almost like the idea of grabbing a useless... Okay, so yeah, I'm going to grab Jolteon EX here. I think good just to grab a useless Pokemon that we're not going to need, just to discard it. Because again, I really don't want to bench a whole lot of stuff when I don't need to. You know, if my hand's dead, I will bench Shaman to draw some cards. or if I need a fresh Tapu Koko, I will bench one of those. But other than that, I want to try to do my best not to really play down a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to get down my conservation area. Okay, so I'm going to eye down a Versus Seeker just to use on the next turn potentially. Okay, have a Fighting Fury Belt I see as well. So another Trainer's Mail. Going to grab Max Elixir. Okay, so it's actually a pretty decent little turn here. I'm going to Max Elixir. Definitely got an energy there, so we're going to start powering up that Tapu Koko a little bit more. And so even if that's all we do this turn, I think still in an okay spot. On Trainer's Mail yet again. Okay, and I do see an Ultra Ball there, so I actually am kind of tempted to take that for next turn, just to grab a new Tapu Koko and immediately start attacking with that thing. So I kind of like that. Even if that's all we do this turn, I think that is okay. And I have a Fury Belt, but I might just hold on to that because I'm going to have to discard 2 cards, and I'm really not sure what I'm going to need to discard yet. It's going to be based on my top deck. So here Marcus is going to get himself a Choice Band down on his Rockruff, and he's going to Sycamore. And here he is going to use Field Blower before he discards it, so he's going to get rid of my Stadium. The only thing I'm worried about here is a Silent Lab coming down. That would really mess up my plan that I have. So I think that's going to be the big card. If Marcus can get that, I think he'll be in an okay spot. Okay, so he's going to discard a Fighting Energy and a Shaman off that Ultra Ball, probably grabbing himself a Lycanroc GX. Oh, okay, so he's going to go for Jolteon, so maybe he already has the Lycanroc in hand. Or maybe if he does, maybe he doesn't have energy, so that would be another reason not to attack with it potentially. Okay, so he's going to Shaman. And does he hit it? Okay, I see a Strong Energy, but I don't know, does he have double colorless energy? Okay, so he must not have hit what he needed, so he's going to attach a Strong Energy to his other Rockruff, just in case the one on the bench gets knocked out. And we might just see a pass, because I'm not sure if Marcus could really do much else here. Okay, he's going to Evolve and switch the Tapu Koko to the active. I don't know if I like that, but I think it'll be okay. So here I'm going to Fighting Fury Belt. And, I can end, I can Sycamore, but I have Max Potion in hand. I really don't know if I want to get rid of that, but I am. I still have one more left in the deck, though, so we will be able to use that at some point, hopefully. Okay, I do have a Field Blower in hand, but I really don't want to use that just to get rid of the one tool card. I have Fighting Fury Belt in hand, so the Choice Band really doesn't make too much of a difference right here. I really don't know what else I would really need. I think I'm just going to hold on to the Trainer's Mail for next turn, and I'm going to use Tapu Koko's regular attack to do 140 thanks to the Fighting Fury Belt. So Marcus is going to get down another Rockruff. Going to attach a Choice Band to his other powered up Rockruff. And I'm going to Sycamore, and he has Float Stone too, which is also good. That means he's going to be able to get that damaged Tapu Lele out of the active spot here. So Marcus is doing okay, but his only bad dilemma here is that he does have 4 energy in play, which means Tapu Koko GX can actually knock out Rockruff with Tapu Koko's GX move. So he does have to keep that in mind, I think. So he's going to grab himself an Escape Rope off of this Trainer's Mail. Probably won't play it. He probably wants to swing on this Tapu Koko since it is the main threat right now. So he's going to retreat, like I said, and here he's going to attack for, I believe it's 130, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that seems right. Okay, so gonna Trader's Mail. What do we get? Okay, see a versus secret there. Honestly, I might just Sycamore here. So I'm not sure if I even want to grab anything. Here it looks like I'm just debating what all of these. I'm probably thinking, do I want this first secret to play in, or do I just want a Sycamore? And just checking what all is in my discard too there, probably just to see my odds of hitting what I'm looking for. And I think this is fine. Just not grabbing anything and then playing the Sycamore. If I have any energy in the discard pile, I probably should play the Super Rod first though. It's the only thing I can really think of. Okay, I'm going to attach for turn to Raikou. I'm going to use Field Blower to discard the tool cards. Purposely choosing the benched ones just because this active Lycanroc is going to be knocked out by my GX move either way. And here I actually have a great turn, so I'm going to use Tapu Koko's GX move, or I'm sorry, his ability, and then Max Potion off the damage Tapu Koko Marcus just attacked. So that's really going to set him back a lot. Okay, so Marcus does get down a double colorless. Does he get a Lycanroc to actually attack with, though? That's what he needs. He's going to play a special charge, probably get back a DC and a strong. It seems good. Like I said, he really needs to get his other Lycanroc up and running, though. Okay, and what does he have? So if he can get Silent Lab, that would be good, too, because he probably wants to attack and also prevent me from kind of doing the same shenanigans I just did. So I think if he can get Lycanroc and a Silent Lab, he'll be okay. So I'm just going to get 4 cards, but I can't tell what I have in hand, but I think there is a Ninja Boy in there. So let's see. What is he going to do? Okay, so he is going to get Lycanroc. I'm guessing he probably won't use the ability just because he, like I said, wants to swing on this active Tapu Koko that's damaged. So he's going to do 100 damage, I believe it is. Yep, 100 damage. And so... Okay, luckily I do have another Tapu Koko, so I can just do the same thing, where I take all the energy off and attack with this new one. Have a Fighting Fury Belt as well. So I could attach that. I also could potentially attach the Fury Belt to the benched one, just to help prevent like a Lysander type of knockout or something like that. And here I'm going to keep powering up this Raikou just because I'm not really worried about Marcus trying to knock it out, because he ideally wants to take 6 prizes. He doesn't want to go through this Raikou, so I think my energy is safe there. Okay, and here Marcus is going to bring up this damage Tapu Koko, so maybe I should have attached the Fury Belt there. That would have prevented a knockout. And here Marcus is going to Level Ball, probably grab another Rockruff. So yeah, maybe that was a slight misplay on my part, I'm not sure there. So I'm not sure what else Marcus wants. Sycamore. Again, he really wants Silent Lab. I think that's going to be the big thing here, just to prevent my Tapu Koko shenanigans. So Silent Lab, he got it. That's good for him. And he's going to probably take a knockout going down to 4 prizes, tying up the game. So I'm going to promote this fresh Tapu Koko. And so I have a couple things I could do here. I'm going to max Elixir. And where am I going to get this energy? That's the big question. So I could put it on the Raikou, who will be able to swing for 110 damage. And okay, so that's what I'm going to opt to do. And here I'm just going to do Tapu Koko's regular attack for 130 to finish knocking out that Lycanroc, going down to 2 prizes. So what is Marcus going to do here? Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I don't think the prize exchange is in his favor at this point. Unless he is able to power up another Lycanroc to cycle between the one he currently has, and another one. So he does have a Lycanroc at least. And here he's going to bring up this fresh Tapu Koko with nothing on it, and he's doing that because I don't have energy to retreat, and also I can't use abilities to get a new Tapu Koko into the active spot. So he's gonna try to trap that and take an easy couple prizes. Here's gonna Trainer's Mail. So I do think that is a neat play. I didn't play a supporter on the last turn either, so he's probably thinking, oh, Eric's hand is dead, so we're gonna trap this thing and knock this thing out and hopefully tip the prize trade back in my favor a little bit. Okay, so here he is going to retreat into that fresh Lycanroc and swing for 110 damage. Okay, I did get Burst Seeker off the prizes though, so what do I opt to do? Oh, and I have the Conservation Area off prizes as well, so that's going to be big. And I might just opt to Sycamore here. Because, I mean, I really don't want to bench a Shaman at this point, if possible. But I'm going to. I said, screw it. I guess I was just really scared I wouldn't hit Tapu Koko. Oh, I know why. I remember now. Because I have Verse Seeker, I can Lysander potentially something. So here, I think I actually have game. Yeah, I have Tapu Koko in hand, so that means I can get a fresh one, and then Lysander, the Tapu Lele, or the Shaman on the bench to clean up the game here. And I don't know why I'm taking so long to realize this. I'm hesitating for some reason here. So going to do that, get all of that energy off that Raikou, and then Lysander, the Shaman, and then take the last two prizes. And that is going to seal the game. I'm going to take this best of 3 series. But yeah, so that's going to be our first Guardians Rising decks we're going to be taking a look at. If you guys are curious about the deck list, be on the lookout because we are going to post those over the next day or so as well. If you want to start testing with these ideas that we have. We also have more testing rounds videos lined up, so if you're anxious to see new ideas for Guardians Rising, definitely stay tuned for our channel. We're going to have a ton of that stuff coming out over the next couple weeks. But as usual guys, feel free to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our merch over at rarecandytcg.com. If you can pick up something to help support the channel, it'd mean a lot to us. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for the next one.